All right, here we go now. Heat check. Bruce Shine. Bruce, your turn.
All right, Chris, listen, as we've seen in most seasons in the early going, even at this late start of the year, the pitching is way ahead of the hitting. We got a lot of struggling hitters out there right now, if you will, and three superstars of note. So I'm going to itemize them here for you. 1 to 3, you let me know which ones you're most concerned about with regards to them having to get it going and the overall importance of their team. We will start in Milwaukee with Christian Yelich.
Well, Yelich, listen, the team hasn't played that great. He's maybe trying too hard with that contract. They put themselves behind the 8 ball already. What are they, 3-5, and the Cubs are 9-2, so that would concern you a little bit. They got to make up all those games against the Cardinals. I could see Yelich, for whatever the reason, he's at 34 at bats. He's got 5 hits. Is that what it is?
He's hitting .088 with a home run.
Yeah, bad. I mean, I could see him being a washout year for Yelich. I could see that. And the Brewers a little spotty out of the gate, and plus the Cubs off to a good start. I could see that. He might be trying too hard with that big contract he signed. It's possible.
And I know the uber sabermetricians poo-poo this notion, but protection in the lineup to me means something. And right now, he doesn't nearly have that kind of, backup the way they're considered. Kane bows out, Grandal is gone, Moustakas is gone, Braun is now on the IL.
Good point.
I mean, the lineup isn't nearly as stacked as it's been.
That could hurt him. That's an excellent point. Well done. All right, what else?
Number 2, Pete Alonso with the Mets.
Yeah, I think Alonso might be trying a little too hard as well. Living up to last year, and living up to last year in 60 games makes it more tricky. I think, I've watched a lot of his at-bats. I mean, he does strike out a lot and put himself in, swings a lot of balls out of the strike zone from what I have seen. He might be pressing some, sophomore slump. I'd be worried about him, too. I think he used a good one. I know he's not hitting 50 homers. I mean, so he's trying to think, okay, what do I have to do in 60 games to be the equivalent of 50 in 162? Well, I mean, he's not going to do that. So he's only got 1 home run, right? I think it's 1 homer.
Yeah, just a 1 home run. Yeah.
I would be concerned about him as well. This could be a year where, teams make adjustments with him. Opponents do. The Mets, 12 games in, bad. He loses Cespedes, no Cano. McNeil's their best hitter anyway. Be worried about him. That's the second guy I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, McNeil's on the shelf temporarily right now. And unlike some of these other guys, they don't need him to be otherworldly to be a prudent offensive outfit, if you will. I mean, the Mets have been getting some big offensive production from Cano, I know is hurt right now, Conforto, McNeil, so forth and so on. But they certainly need more than what he's providing right now. In the middle of that lineup, he's just an albatross right now.
Making a lot of outs, and they have not gotten clutch hits. As you said earlier, that could change, could turn it around. They sort of go up and down, whether the clutch hitting is there one week and next year and then the next week it isn't. But I'd be worried about Alonso, too. Both those players. He came up with good ones. Go ahead. Who's the third?
And I think Anthony Rendon, our last candidate here, falls in the same vein as Alonso, opposed to Yelich, who's more or less a one-man gang. And Rendon got a little bit of a late start with the oblique issue, but he hasn't quite been
I'm not worried about him. Yeah. That I'm not worried about. He did miss, as you said, first 3-4 games of the season. Trout hasn't been there either, so the two of them really haven't had a chance to blend in right. Rendon's won a championship. He's a professional hitter. I'm not worried about Rendon. I think that Rendon will figure. He hit a ball. I watched it on Sunday. He hit a shot out to the deep part of the outfield that was an out in the 9th inning in a tight game. I believe that was Rendon. I'm not worried about him. I think Rendon will come. He's the one guy I wouldn't be concerned about. The other two, I could see some issues for the next 40, 50 games.
I'm going to throw you a bonus one right here. And these guys look like a cross between Babe Ruth and Ted Williams compared to what Gary Sanchez is doing right now. He's hitting less than 100 right now. He has no home runs. Maybe he's got 1 or 2 RBIs. It's ugly for the Yankees backstop right now. It's kind of getting glossed over because of what their record is right now.
What did he do against the Phillies? I know he was 0 for 15. What did he do against the Phillies the other night?
He took an 0 and struck out a couple of times.
Yeah, he's major problems. And, they are not going to pay him. I'll tell you that right now. They're going to have to pay Judge most likely if he stays healthy. They got Stanton, they got Cole. They are not going to pay Sanchez. And I know that the GM loves him, but, he's got a he can hit 240 homers. But he's certainly not Bill Dickey behind the plate. No. I think we figured that out. That is a guy that they could let go. Sanchez came up the same year that Judge did for the most part. May have come up a year later. So they might have an extra year of control. But that is something that I would be concerned about long term with the Yankees. I could see them having issues because you're right. He's dangerous. He's got presence, but he has not been great now for over a year. 100%.
And hey, listen, they got some other guys they got to think of, spending some shekels on too before we even get
LeMahieu,
to the
Torres.
maybe Tanaka. You might want to think about.
I
bringing him back, too.
don't think Tanaka. But I do think the middle of the infield. I'm with you.